Well, everybody, today's the day. It's time to load the Malibu up in the trailer and head to Indy to put it in the Nitrous Express booth at PRI. Before I hit the road, we wanted to air up all the tires on the trailer and collect up some cleaning supplies so that I can detail the car once I get it there. We threw all that stuff in the trunk. I made a list of stuff for Jeremy and Kenny to work on while I'm gone, and we packed everything into the cab of the truck I need to take with me and hit the road. The first stop, of course, is the gas station for the old dually. Once I had the old truck full of fuel, I punched in some directions into my phone, and it's time to hit the interstate for the 3.5-hour drive over to Indianapolis. I'm sure thankful that a friend of mine let me borrow his smaller enclosed trailer so that I can haul the car over there, because it's pretty nasty out this morning, and you never know what the weather's going to be like this time of year. Thankfully, it's actually pretty warm today, but it is very humid, and the fog is pretty thick. I managed to make it through downtown Columbus right after rush hour, and as long as I don't have any problems on the trip over, I should be able to make it to Indianapolis before rush hour there. As I approach the Ohio-Indiana state line, I remember how terrible the roads are in Indiana. Hopefully the old dually survives the inevitable beating. After 100 miles of this shit, I didn't know if I was going to survive. By the time I got to Indianapolis, my back and my neck were killing me, but luckily the old dually held together. No problems so far. Now that I've made it to downtown, I just need to figure out where I need to go first. I remember in years past I've seen a lot of trucks and trailers gathered around the Lucas Oil Stadium, and it didn't take long for me to run into some people that I recognize, regrettably. Once I got close to the receiving lot, the staff directed me where to park the truck and trailer, and then it was time to unload the Malibu and get it cleaned up before I pull it inside. Although it's pretty cold out, the old Malibu fired right up. I let it sit out there and idle for a few minutes to let it get warm and get some heat in the oil. I wiped the car off real quick with some Hawaiian Shine and one of those microfiber towels that Mark's guys brought me over this morning. Then it was time to close up the trailer, shut off the dually, lock everything up, and take the Malibu into the convention center. I sent a text message out to the NX guys to let them know I was here, and Boosted happened to run into me out in the parking lot and explain to me which direction I needed to go and what I should expect once I get in there. Because you're not allowed to just drive in, you have to push the cars. Luckily, the guys from Nitrous Express came and found me and helped me push the car back to their booth. And after pushing that Malibu, I can just about guarantee you it's the last time they invite me to bring this thing to PRI. But regardless, we managed to get it in the booth and get everything situated, and then it was time to head back to the Airbnb. The problem is, I was supposed to take this truck and trailer to a holding lot for storage for the week. But by the time I made my way out to the truck and trailer, all the event staff had already gone home for the night. So I'm just praying there's enough room at the Airbnb to park the truck and trailer, at least until tomorrow. Well, I lucked out last night. There was plenty of room to park the truck and trailer right next to the Airbnb. However, there's no security to keep anybody from messing with my truck and trailer. Unfortunately, last night when I got done getting the Malibu put inside, it was about dark, and everybody outside that would direct me where to take this thing last night was already gone. Since I've never done this before, I just went ahead and brought it back to the Airbnb, which is fine for last night, okay? The problem is, that trailer is borrowed. It doesn't belong to me. I borrowed it from a friend of mine. I originally thought it would be in a safe place the entire week, and not that anybody would ever want to steal my truck or trailer. I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing up to Pete Walsh's house. Pete is the guy that my mom and dad bought that blue, two-tone blue 80 C10 from. He collects square body pickups, and I love square body pickups. And I've always wanted to go visit Pete and see his collection of trucks. So I guess today's the day. So I get everything gathered up in the dually that I need to take with me for the day, and I shoot Pete a text message to let him know I'm on my way. Now, I've been friends with Pete and Sam Walsh for a few years, but I've never had the opportunity to come visit and check out Pete's collection of Chevy pickup trucks and antiques. And the very first truck I laid eyes on is his prized 1980 GMC 1-ton 4-wheel drive pickup truck with a factory 400 small block, 4-speed, and air conditioning. But that's not the only one he's got sitting in the barn. Pete recently picked up this super clean 1980 1-ton dually from California. The truck features the original 454 big block turbo 400 transmission, factory air, and 21,000 miles. It's literally a rolling time capsule. But if you think that truck's rare, check out this one. a 1975 GMC Gentleman Jim. All these trucks came with factory tack dashes, bucket seats, console, and of course the ultra rare color combination, black and gold. Speaking of rare color combinations, I've never seen a square body with a white interior, but Pete's got one, and he's got plenty more where that came from. Like this beautiful red on red 1980 1-ton 4-wheel drive, small block 4-speed, Scottsdale with all original paint and interior. But out of all the trucks that Pete has in his collection, this blue and white 79 Cheyenne 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive 350 automatic truck had my name written all over it. Out of all the square body Chevys, the 1979 was my favorite year. And this particular color combination, in my opinion, was one of the most beautiful Chevrolet ever offered. I think Pete could definitely tell I was in love with this thing as soon as I saw it. So he fired it up and pulled it outside where I could take a closer look at it. A real deal, all numbers matching, original paint, original interior, 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive Cheyenne really makes me want another one of these old trucks like the one I had years ago. Seeing this old Chevy fire up and hearing the factory choke that still works, the smell of the original interior, hearing the tires hum on the pavement, and the sound of the stock original exhaust has me thinking really serious about coming back after PRI and making an offer on this truck so that I can take it home with me. I'm not sure how Vicky's gonna feel about that. Maybe after she rides in it, she'll understand why I want one so bad. Thank you, brother.
Hi, brother.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad we spent the day together.
Oh my God, this is probably going to be the highlight of my entire PRI trip,
Oh, I know about that.
was visiting your collection of square body Chevys.
Well, next time I'll get them all cleaned up and we'll just spend the day driving them.
All right, that
You
sounds
can drive,
good.
I can drive. We'll let other people drive.
I appreciate
And you
you,
need to
man.
come out to the show too.
Yeah, I want to, absolutely.
And we'll let you drive one out. Or hell, you just need a day to get away, Bill. Just come on over.
Oh, I could always use a day to get away.
Come on over. We'll do square body stuff.
So after we put that old 79 Chevy back in the barn, me and Pete head over to Montana Mike's for lunch. And that's when I start getting some bad news from back at home. It seems there's a problem with Vicky's Suburban. When she came out this morning to start it to go run errands, it wouldn't fire up. It would crank over, but it wouldn't fire. And there appears to be a problem with the ignition system. It's pretty common this time of year when there's a lot of moisture in the air for these things to have problems with the distributor cap, and Jeremy had to dry the thing out with a heat gun to get it to start to pull it in the shop. Now, since Vicky's planning on leaving in this thing tomorrow morning to head to Indianapolis, he decides to go down, pick up a new cap and rotor, and harass Mark and the guys for a few minutes.
You look like two stooges standing there.
Hey, that's what I said the other day. So we got the three musketeers, as in John, Mike, and Mark as the ball people, and we got the two stooges.
That guy.
You say the bald people?
Yeah, the three musketeers.
Preston's down with the flu, man. And he'll be sick for a few days.
Oh no.
He don't ever miss one day. When he's sick, he's down for 3 or 4.
So now I'm stuck with you.
There ain't nothing wrong with me.
I beg to differ. Where's my oil?
What?
My oil.
Oh, hold on.
Better be the right crap.
Just what you're looking for.
Oh, look. Same color as the last one you sold us.
10W40. Brown and green.
I don't know how you run out of stock on
Well, I can't keep up with you guys. You're like big vacuums. You just suck all my
that. No, there's
inventory
one
out.
of us, the big vacuum.
Oh.
And his name's William.
Oh, no.
I got a call from him last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, you remember how I complained about the roads in Indiana?
Well, yeah. How
And he told
terrible
me
they were?
Yeah, and he told me I was just being a big sissy.
Right.
Yeah, well, now his back's messed up, his neck's messed
Oh,
up, and he
no.
beat the dually to death.
So he found out firsthand.
Yes, yes. He knows exactly what I was dealing with.
I know what I was dealing with, but look what Mark's dealing with. It turns out, Thing 2 has an anger problem.
What exactly happened there?
I got beat by a brick wall. Spark Ball 1. I challenged it to a fight, and it didn't go so well. It's not broke. Move my fingers. I punched it.
Good grief.
Yeah.
So once Jeremy got done harassing everyone down at A1, he came back to the shop to work on Vicky's Suburban and get this cap and rotor installed. Because the last thing any of us need is Vicky broke down on I-70 on her way to Indianapolis. Once he had the cap and rotor installed, the Suburban fired up and runs good. And luckily, it made its way to Indianapolis this morning.
Oh no! Oh my goodness. Oh, even the shop supervisor's here.
Once everybody got done using the restroom, it was time for us all to load up in the Suburban and head to the convention center. I'm supposed to be in the Nitrous Express booth at 1:30, and I just barely made it in time. I was pretty excited to see how the booth turned out once they had all the displays set up. And the booth looks really nice. And it turns out my old Malibu wasn't the only car in the booth. Around 2 o'clock, they set up a table and chairs for me and Vicky to sit down and talk to everybody that came through. And it turns out the time went pretty fast, especially after Jimmy Dale showed up, aka Tom Gunner. I'd only talked to Tom on the phone at this point. This is the first time I'd ever met him in person. Once we got everything set up, there was a pretty steady stream of people coming through to talk to us, with lots of questions about the nitrous kit on the Malibu and the ATM carburetor that we're using, and a handful wanting to talk about Vicky's cookies. I had some really good conversations and met some really nice people, and had plenty of opportunities to talk to not only fans, but other folks that would like to help our program. It was almost time to close everything down by the time I got over to ATM to visit with them for a few minutes before we left for the night. They already had a couple of my carburetors set out for display. I can't hardly believe that this is something that's really going to happen. Meanwhile, back at the NX booth, everybody's getting into Vicky's cookies, NX Gonzo included. Once things started to wind down, Vicky took the opportunity to go out and start making Christmas cookie deliveries, one of which went to Nolan Jamora at the Iski booth, which I'll be there on Saturday. After Vicky got done delivering cookies, it was time for us to all to pack up and head out to downtown to go eat dinner with everybody from Nitrous Express at a little place called the District Tap. And once we got inside, we realized there's somebody else in here that we know. Mr. Bobby Ducote was in there having dinner, which triggered the final cookie delivery, and only because she's completely out of cookies. The rest of us all settled in the back and talked about new ways of getting Jimmy Dale in trouble.
I'm talking to my mother.
Okay, maybe not all of us were talking about how we can get Jimmy in trouble, but I was. And the conversations taking place on the left side of the table couldn't be repeated. Anyway, after we ate dinner, Vicky and I went back to the Airbnb to work on finishing up this video.
What you doing there, squirrel?
Washing my face. What are you doing?
Trying to finish up this video. You got to come out here and talk to me about your first day at PRI.
All right, well.
You're popping zits.
Stop.
Are you out of cookies yet?
I handed out every last cookie.
Good. We're done with the
We're
cookies.
done with cookies.
We're out.
They're delivered.
We're done.
Yes.
Okay, good.
All the sponsors that I wanted to give cookies, I gave them to, and friends, and that's it.
So 90% of what seemed to be filmed today was you handing out cookies.
Yeah, that's my job.
It was our PRI first day, and you
Yep.
spent most of the day handing out cookies.
Yep, that's what I wanted to do.
Jesus.
But no, it was fun meeting people and talking to people and handing out stickers and all that fun stuff.
You got any good stories?
Tomorrow we're gonna be a little more mobile. We're gonna
Right.
be out and about, walking around, and we will also be in the ATM booth a bit,
Right.
and in the Nitrous Express booth.
Right.
And they're kind of close together, so we can
Right.
actually kind of walk back and forth. And then Saturday we'll be in the Iski booth from 11 to 12.
Yep. And I want to go visit Kale in the Melling booth. I want to
Yeah.
go see him.
So we'll get around tomorrow.
And Tony Bumpus at the RC Comp booth. They help us out quite a bit. I would definitely want to go see him. I missed him last year, so I didn't get to visit with him.
It was a good day, and we were treated to a nice dinner by the
Yes.
Nitrous Express group
Yep.
at a place called the District. What was
Yes.
it called?
Yes. The
Something-
District.
The District, yeah, it was good. So that was nice, and
Thank you to Tom Gunner aka Uncle Jimmy Dale.
Yeah.
Who
It was
led
nice
me
to
astray.
actually meet him in person.
He gave me the wrong address.
Well, okay, so there was a little bit of a fiasco.
He didn't have reservations anywhere,
Way to go, Tom.
but he was on the phone calling to make reservations, and he thought he had a place lined up, so he texted it to Bill. And then in the meantime, found out that wouldn't work, so we had to do plan B, and he told me plan B,
But not me.
but not you. So when we get in the car after dropping Tommy and Allison off to where they needed to go, I said, okay, I have the restaurant directions pulled up, and you said, I've already got it. And I was like, oh, well, Tom must have updated him. No, you still had the first restaurant. I'm the one who had directions to the second. We head to the first and we pull up out and I'm like, oh, well, that's the wrong name. So then we pull up directions to the second restaurant.
No, halt.
What?
We, as in you and I, didn't do anything of the sort. You brought up directions,
Okay,
walking
and
directions, which led
my
us...
phone automatically defaulted to walking directions, which told me that, wow, it must be close. It was just like minutes.
Yeah, the
So-
only problem was it sent you the wrong direction. We walked half a mile the wrong direction, and then finally you're like, why isn't this keeping up with our
I
movements?
know that, like, my phone, as we're walking, it kept saying turn left in so many feet. Like, we walked and walked and walked and walked, and it never updated. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
So finally I was aggravated.
A little aggravated.
I told Tom, eat without us. He's like, whatever, tough guy or something. And I'm like, dude, I was gonna go into Buca de Pepo's, and I'm like, I'm done. Remember? Until I walked in, I saw the line a mile long
Yeah.
inside there. I'm like, well, that was a sneaky trick.
This PRI is such a big thing. Like, the restaurants are, as soon as 6 o'clock hits, forget it. Like, every place is packed.
So we finally ended up going back and having dinner with everybody.
Yep, and CJ, our buddy CJ was there too. That was nice.
Yep.
So, anyway, what else did I go? Oh, I got to see Bobby. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
I had one bag of Christmas cookies left.
And
I
he
kept
got
thinking, I know, I kept thinking, there's gonna be somebody that deserves these. You know, like, when I see him, I'll
Well, that
know.
wasn't Bobby.
Oh, yes,
He
it
didn't
was.
deserve them.
I like him. He's a nice guy. I like him. And so he got them. He was at the same restaurant. So, anyway.
Hopefully he shares them with everybody.
Oh, I don't care if he does or not.
I
He
do.
can keep
Pops
them all
deserves
himself.
some.
Well, maybe to Pops, but yeah.
Mike Henson deserves some. He better get some.
All right, so.
Did you put any stipulations on Bobby's bag of cookies?
Nope. Nope.
We're gonna see what kind of a good guy Bobby is, aren't we?
I'm pretty tired because I was up making cookies until 2:30 in the morning yesterday, and then I was back up at like 6:45, so I'm going on like 4.5 hours of sleep.
So we need to get this video done so we can get to bed and get back up tomorrow to go back to the convention center.
Yes, and have more energy tomorrow. That's the plan.
Are we done?
Yep.
Good night. See y'all at PRI if you're coming.
Bye.